In this episode, I reminisce about recess, I ask Olivia what her top 3 children's shows of the 90s and noughties are, and Tobin is my guest for celebrity birthdays.
This is 90s and Noughties UK, a podcast on UK pop culture of the 90s and 2000s. If you want to contact the show, email 90esandnoughties@gmail.com, tweet us on @90esandnoughties UK on Twitter, or check us out on Facebook, 90s and Noughties UK.
Welcome to this edition of the 90s and Noughties UK podcast. With me, Jamie Dyer. And now I'd like to, before we start the main features in this podcast, you know the drill by now, to tell you a little story. And it's about a TV show that I used to watch when I was growing up. I used to watch it on Toon Disney, on Disney Channel at times, and I watched those episodes probably dozens of times then. And there was a long period where I didn't see it because it wasn't available on ordinary TV. I didn't have Sky anymore, and even when I did, they'd stopped showing it long ago. And just it was unavailable, right? And it becomes that image in your mind, that thing where, is it really as good as I remember it being? And luckily, I got the opportunity recently, thanks to a Disney Plus subscription, to revisit this TV show with TJ, Mikey, Vince, Gus, Gretchen, Spinelli, and a whole host of other characters in the Disney cartoon animation Recess, which I can tell you was a massive favourite for me growing up. I absolutely adored it. I loved the stories, and even now, getting to grips with these characters again and seeing those stories again, even though I've seen them dozens of times, I'm seeing them in a whole new light. And this was a hugely successful series. It ran originally from 97 to 2001 and spawned several feature films, including a rather large theatrical release called School's Out, which I can't wait to revisit once I have finished the series. However, on Disney Plus, it is available. The whole series, plus all the films and the direct video sequels and all that stuff is available, but it all appears to be out of order. And that is my only gripe. Someone somewhere has done something wrong. I'm not quite sure who, but to be honest, I'm at a point where I don't really care. I enjoy revisiting those characters, kind of reminiscing about the days of when I used to watch it, and looking at those stories from a whole new way. So I start this episode with a question. Have you revisited something from your childhood recently, and did it live up to the positive memory that you had? Do let me know, won't you? And with that question firmly in mind, let me ask you another along similar lines. If I was to ask you what your top 3 favourite children's TV shows of the 90s and noughties were, would you be able to tell me? That is exactly the question that we're about to ask of Olivia, who contacted me at the end of last year, and we recorded the next segment then when I was still on my old equipment using a Samsung Q2U for all you geeks out there, and I've now upgraded to a Rode Procaster. So the next segment sounds a little bit different than last year when I was recording the podcast. And she wanted to come on and tell me her top 3 favourite kids shows of the 90s and noughties. Here's what she said.
Well, my top 3 kids programs I like is Postman Pat, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Rosie and Jim.
And is that in that order, or is that in any order?
Well, like in not any order, because I like 3 of the kids programs I just mentioned anyway.
Yeah. So Thomas the Tank Engine is adapted from the books, obviously. What do you like about it?
Well, it's just like I like by both really. I like the books and the series really.
Yeah, because the narrator on the early series was Ringo Starr, wasn't it? And Postman Pat obviously came onto the screens in 1981 from Woodland Animations, which was an Ivor Wood thing. And what do you like about that?
I really like the Postman Pat. Like I've got no dislikes about it anyway, because it's like really good and
Yeah, I mean it's a really catchy theme tune as well, isn't it?
Yes, there is. Yes.
The last one here on your list was Rosie and Jim. What do you like about that?
Well, again, I just don't know really. I just really like it. Like, although I like obviously like the characters and then the owners that's been on there, like John Cunliffe, Pat Hutchins, and Neil Brewer.
Wasn't it that John Cunliffe, didn't he create it?
I'm assuming he did, yes.
I enjoyed watching Rosie and Jim when I was little, and I enjoy seeing bits of it now. And it ran for a long time, didn't it?
It ran from 1990 till 2000, like 10 years.
I think what we need to realise from these selections that you've made is Postman Pat in particular was made, as I say, in the early 80s, but we were still watching it well into the 2000s.
I would say probably a bit of both. Like in the 90s, obviously they had the TV specials that was made, like Postman Pat Takes the Bus, Postman Pat and the Toy Soldiers, and then it follows into another 2 specials that was in the 90s as well, which is Postman Pat and then the Tube, and Postman Pat and the Neurometer. And then it went in. And then it got into the second series in the 90s.
Yeah, I think that is right, because I think they made the first series way back in the 80s, and then they made a second series in the 90s, if I remember rightly, as you quite rightly say.
Yes. And then, like, after that, they made some, like, revamp of it. And second, some of the characters from that, which is a bit, like, sad, like, really.
Yeah, do you like the new version of Postman Pat? Because I don't like the electronicness of it. I don't like the mouths.
I probably would say, I don't know. I like the new series, although it is still about like the same, but it's not like the same without some of the original characters that was in it, like Granny Dryden, Miss Hubbard, and all that.
Yeah, they definitely changed the vibe somewhat. Now, out of the 3 that you've selected here, it's only Rosie and Jim that isn't still running, because Thomas the Tank Engine, in comparison to Postman Pat, is still running.
They're doing the 24th series of that, at the moment. Although they're meant to be on a break after that for some reason, after that's been aired.
Did you ever see the movie that they made of Thomas the Tank Engine? What was that called? Thomas and the Magic Railroad?
Yes, that's correct, and that was made in 2000.
It's crazy, isn't it? When you think about how long ago it was.
Yes, I know.
Obviously, Rosie and Jim, as we say, hasn't been on TV for some time.
No, I'll tell you the last time it was on telly, if you want to know. It was back in 2013, and that was for the CITV anniversary thingamajig, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was, yeah, because they brought back lots of programmes. They reran lots of programmes for that, and that was very exciting, actually.
Yes, and I'm hoping they'll do that for the 40th anniversary of CITV. That will be in 93 years' time.
Well, as of recording, we have 3 years or so to wait for that, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping they'll do that. Or, well, I don't know.
Did you collect the VHS, the videos of these shows?
Well, I wouldn't say it as a really young age of like raising you, but I remember it's like as a like let's say like a teenager into like adult I did the collect the VHS, but not obviously not all of them, but obviously from John Connery series I mainly just like collected like I know I've been having the VHS for such a long time, and it's the same for Postman Pat as well. Like,
I think for those series, I mean, unfortunately, Postman Pat has been released on DVD, the original series, but they changed the theme tune, they've changed the logo, and it's just weird.
I know, yes, I know it's not the same. Although I'm not bothered with that because I got both like the first and second series on DVD, funny enough, and it don't really like bother me. Although it does like ruin it for some people who's going up to watch it from a like really young age to now or whatever.
So, if you could pick one out of the three that was like your very favourite, would you be able to do that?
Oh, now I don't know. Ever very favourite. As I said, all the three I picked are just you know, as part of my my early childhood to now, like really. So I haven't really got a particular favourite, I'm afraid.
Thanks to Olivia for coming on the podcast and talking to me about her top 3 favourite children's shows of the 90s and noughties. There's some great choices there, and I'm sure that there are many people out there who share her sentiments and love for those shows. But if you're listening and you'd like to give me a top 3 of anything 90s and noughties pop culture related, then please do consider sending me an email and telling me what the top 3 is, and maybe I can talk to you over Zoom, Skype, Clean Feed, any of those options, and discuss why you like them, just as I did with Olivia there. So before we get into this week's edition of Celebrity Birthdays, I just wanted to take this opportunity to ask out there about the possibility of doing further roundtables. Now, if people are new to this podcast and they don't know what that is, basically I get together a group of fans of a particular subject and we chat about it on Zoom for about sort of 10 to 15 minutes. I think the longest one we did was about 40 minutes long, but that was the first one, and the podcast is a little bit shorter these days. I would like to, if possible, do some new ones in the future. So if you are a fan of any of these things that I'm about to mention, please do get in contact with the podcast and tell me your availability. Now, obviously, if you're listening far out in the future, chances are just scroll forward and it might have already been done. If it's not there, then we haven't been successful on this, and this whole segment is a complete waste of time. So if you are a fan of these following things, get in touch. The Renford Rejects, Atomic Kitten, Blue, Doctor Who, Boyzone, The Backstreet Boys, Grange Hill, and Bodger and Badger. So if you're a fan of any of those things, then get in contact and you could be involved in a future roundtable. Now, I've mentioned previously the bands that we've done, and I hope to do future episodes on 5, A1, and Take That, etc. If you would like to be part of those and haven't done so before, then please do get in contact. If you have done them, still do it, because it would be nice to talk to some of you again. So I know this is kind of a boring bit of the podcast, but it's kind of some homework that I feel like needed to be done. So hopefully we can pull that off. And now it's time for celebrity birthdays. I'm joined by Canadian podcaster Tobin. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us about your podcast.
Sure. Thank you for having me all the way from Canada, Newfoundland. Easier to say Canada because people know where that's to. Newfoundland, they probably get lost. My podcast is basically I interview celebrities, musicians, anchors, actresses, actors, basically anyone with a name. And we just have a fun chat about their career, how they're handling COVID, or just, I guess, topical references. And yeah, we've got 100-odd episodes, so I think it's doing okay. I'm not about to quit yet.
Well, to get over 100 episodes, that's really impressive, and I can applaud you. And, very few people get to that amount because of the way that podcasts are. People get bored very quickly. Now it's time to play Celebrity Birthdays. And if you're new to this, basically what we do is Tobin here is going to try and guess the name of a celebrity from the 90s or noughties. And, they're celebrating their birthday this week, the week of broadcast. So without further ado, please start your questioning.
Sure. Are they Canadian?
No.
Are they American?
No.
Okay. Are they British?
Yes.
Okay. Are they a musician?
Well, that's a tricky one. It would be really mean of me to say that they are a musician, but they have been seen on TV playing the drums.
Oh, okay.
It would be really mean of me to say that they were a musician, though. They're not primarily known for being a musician.
Okay. Fair. Are they a movie star?
No.
Oh, okay. I think you got me here. Are they in any TV or film?
They are in television, yes, but not as an actor, rather as a presenter, and they do something very particular in front of the camera.
Are they a news anchor?
They're not a news anchor, no, but they do have a very specialist subject that they focus on, a little bit like a correspondent.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are they like a late night talk show?
They're not a late night talk show, no. Although other people who are in his profession have gone into talk shows. Gordon Ramsay springs to mind.
Oh, okay. Are they a chef?
They are a chef.
Oh man, okay. That was what I was going to go with, Gordon Ramsay. But okay, so a British chef. I think you got me here. Do they have any kids?
Yes, they have 5 children.
5 kids.
Although that would, they are seen. You might not get this show in Canada, but they have been seen on a TV show fairly recently.
Okay. Let's see. Are they like world famous, or is it just very particularly UK? Or yeah.
From what I understand, they're hugely famous here in the UK. They had a slight moment in America where they caused a lot of controversy, trying to kind of replicate what they've done in the UK. But mostly it's UK wide.
Oh man, that could be anybody. No. That could be Russell Brand. That could be Simon Cowell. No. Let's see. Oh man.
I'll give you I will help you out here, because I feel like, and not to be offensive, you might not get this because this is quite niche. But they made their first series in the late 90s, where they were described as being naked, but weren't naked.
Oh, okay. In the late 90s. See, the one that comes to mind, I don't know why, but it's like and I'm going to butcher it. I'm not even going to say the first name, but it's like the female named Dunham, but that's not it at all. But that's what came to mind. Man, I think you got me. Let's see. Is there anything else I could think? Like, to me, the only thing that I can think of UK with chefs is Gordon Ramsay. I know I'm a very Canadian American mindset there. It's like you have one guy that comes out of the UK, and that's all I know. I'm going to tap out. There's an option to tap out here?
There is an option to tap out. Yeah, I can tell that you're not going to get this because Gordon Ramsay is huge, yes, and he personally has done late night talk shows. I think he did a week of the Nightly Show here in the UK about maybe 5 years ago. But the guy I'm thinking of, his name is Jamie Oliver. He is a very famous chef here in England, famous for obviously initially a show called The Naked Chef, where he was very young back in the late 90s, and he went on to have a campaign about school dinners. He's very much been about campaigning for changes in food, like how much sugar is in food and that type of thing. And he did do a show over in America, which I think caused some controversy. So it was a long shot to bring this one to you, but this is 90s and Noughties UK, and I love, you might have surprised me.
No, in fairness, you know what? I know that is somewhat famous here in Canada because I'm sure there's like on a cooking show or a network that he's there. But yeah, like if this got broadcast in Canada, there are probably people out there like, clearly Brian doesn't know the answer, but I would have known it because I watched the show. I'm like, good for you.
Well, there we are. So Jamie Oliver is celebrating his birthday in the week of this broadcast. Sorry you didn't get it, Tobin, but thank you very much for joining us.
No worries. Hopefully he's not mad at me for not guessing his birthday, but happy birthday. Happy birthday if you do see this.
And that brings us to the end of this podcast. I'd like to thank everyone who contributed to it and you for listening. If you'd like some extra content, please go and check out the 90s and Noughties YouTube channel, where you'll find taste tests and other 90s and 2000s related content. You can also come and join the live stream at twitch.tv/90sandnoughties UK, and that happens every Monday at 10:30 p.m. UK time. So from me, Jamie Dyer, thank you very much for listening, and bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to 90s and Noughties UK, a podcast on UK pop culture of the 90s and 2000s. Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider. If you want to contact the show, email 90sandnoughties@gmail.com, tweet us on @90sandnoughties UK on Twitter, or check us out on Facebook, 90s and Noughties UK.